It's the feeling of powerlessness. I'd like to comment on the comment you made of false flags. They were documented false flags in Egypt and Iraq of Jews, Israelis making the Jews go to Israel by putting off bombs in, and blaming the Arabs for doing this when it was Jews that were caught red-handed on occasion. But in a similar manner, we see 9/11, and I would imagine most people in America or in the world believe it was a false flag, you know? But everyone seems so powerless now. Nobody is able to really do anything. And the internet, I work with it, but in a way it's our enemy. It's stopping people really going out and protesting, you know?
No, it's not correct to say that we are powerless and we're doing nothing, we cannot do nothing. I think it was just hours ago, maybe yesterday, that the Chief of Staff of the Russian Armed Forces made a declaration that Russia might have to take preemptive action, following in the footsteps of Uncle Sam, following in the footsteps of Israel, following the footsteps of those who have given to the world the military strategy of preemptive strikes. It was a beautiful statement from the Russian Chief of Staff that we might have to take a preemptive strike if you continue making a ring around us, a missile ring which we perceive to be endangering our security. Israel is saying that the development of nuclear power in Iran threatens Israel's security. If that is a valid argument, then the Russian argument is also valid. If Israel could launch a preemptive strike against Iran, then Russia can launch a preemptive strike also against all of those missiles that are being placed around Russia. It was a beautiful statement on the part of the Russian Armed Forces chief, yes. And don't forget, a couple of days from now, Vladimir Putin takes over as president of Russia. And he's already given them a bloody nose in Georgia. So they know who they're dealing with. Putin is not going to bend his knees, and Russia is not going to bend its knees. No. And China is forging an alliance with Russia. And so we're not sitting down and doing nothing. We are watching before our eyes a scenario being unfolded in which those who are hell-bent with a pig-headed obstinacy of ruling the world, even if it must lead to nuclear warfare, even if billions of people must die, it doesn't matter. These people who are essentially mad want to rule the world. And Russia is saying, you're not going to do it to us. And so it's not demonstrations that are going to change the situation today. You just have to take a look and see what Russia is doing.
Well, the statement is bold. I'm not entirely familiar with what it's doing, but I guess it's rearming and modernizing its military, if that's what you mean by looking at what Russia is doing.
No, I'm saying that the situation is not one in which there is no response, that we are sitting down in a state of helplessness. I want the viewing audience to know that a situation is evolving in the world before our eyes. And we must understand it, that the two major powers in the world are now moving in a collision course. That collision course between these two major powers, the American-led alliance and the Russian-led alliance, is going to lead to nuclear warfare of such a magnitude that there's only one word that we can look for in the vocabulary to fit it, and that's called Armageddon. That is, millions and millions and millions are going to die. Most of them probably in North America and Europe. Europe of the East and Europe of the West. And what is left of the world after that, the Zionists hope that they can cope with it and they can somehow survive and come out top. And Israel will rule the world, the rump that is left after the two giants engage in a war of mutual destruction. That is what we're facing now, Morris.
It strikes a chord. You are on the zeitgeist always. Sheikh Imran Hosein, I've no more to ask you. It has been so much to take in and very easy to follow you. And it is enlightening, the entire experience. To hear what you say. I'm ever so thrilled, and I do believe you said a couple of things which are new for us all to hear from you.
I have something more to say.
Please.
I forgot to say it.
Please.
I want Eastern Europe to listen to me. And I want Russia to listen to me. That on that day, when Muslims conquer Istanbul, the conquest prophesied by Prophet Muhammad, Allah's blessings be upon him, the first thing that we will do is to return the church, the cathedral, Hagia Sophia, return it to the Christian world. And when we return it to the Christian world, we'll have to return it with an apology. An apology for 600 years of Muslim worship in that church when it should have been a church, not a masjid. And then when Mustafa Kemal took it over, he added insult to injury. He took the house of God and made it a museum. So the first thing we'll do is to return Hagia Sophia to the Christian world. And I pray that Allah may cause these words of mine to reach to Bulgaria, and reach to Greece, and reach to Romania, and reach to Hungary, and reach to Poland, and reach to Russia. The second thing that we'll do is to recover the old name of the city. It was Constantinople. Constantine is the one who built the city. The Emperor Constantine gave it the name Constantinople. There were other names that were used, like Istanbul, but the name that by which the city was known all around the world was Constantinople. And when our Prophet spoke about it, our Prophet used the name Constantinople. He said in Arabic, لَتَفْتَحَنَّ الْقُنْسْتَنْتِنِيَّةِ, that you will most certainly conquer Constantinople. And so when we take over that city once again in the name of Islam, the name of the city will return to Constantinople. At that time we'll be in alliance with Russia. So it will no longer be a NATO city. And so Russia would have a passage through the Bosphorus for the Russian Navy to enter into the Mediterranean. And that spells trouble for Israel. That's all I want to say.
There is a treaty allowing Russia to send some ships to the Mediterranean, but there's a limit.
That's right.
That's right. Well, I hope some Israelis will look at what you have said as well, and maybe think about what's going on.
Oh, there are some Israelis. There are some Israelis who are waking up. They are. And they are realizing that this madcap government that they have is leading them to disaster. And they don't know how to stop it.